you have two ears, so you listen twice as much as the one mouth can speak. 90% of the feed I read are from exhausted people. Foot reading isn't psychic, but I get psychic visions. And sometimes they, they catch me unaware. I burst into tears, I belch, I cry.
Thoughts are racing, spinning fast, ideas flow, but never last.
Our topics today: your feet don't lie, the solopreneur's burden, action follows alignment, and say no to the hustle.
Rambling on, no straight lines. Welcome to my busy mind.
Hello and welcome to Ramblings of a Busy Mind. We have another episode here, and I'm not calling out numbers because I'm going to get it wrong. I know that. And I have a dear, dear friend and a co-conspirator, co-collaborator with me. And I'm gonna mix up her name again because I'm always doing that. Marie Jardine. Did I get that?
You got it.
So I think it's the first time I got that right on the first try. I usually pronounce her French, which would be Jardin. That's not right.
Yes, it's Scottish.
It's Scottish. Jardine is a close friend that I attend markets with, and we usually tag team because we're doing both wellness stuff. But she is special. She runs under the name Little Piggies. Marie, just tell people about what Little Piggies is.
Okay. Well, it's Little Piggies Reflexology, and I specialize in foot reflexology, hand, face, India head massage. But my specialties, I do reflexology lymph drainage and structural reflexology, which is about making sure the foot is relaxed in the way it wants to be, needs to be. And my favorite of all time is foot reading. I'm a foot reader, which I absolutely love doing.
It's so cool that you can look at the bottom of a foot, at the sole, and it tells you more precise than a hand what's happening in somebody's life.
Feet don't lie.
So how
they
often
can smell, but they don't lie.
How often do you see stress and overwhelm in the feet? And what does it look like?
Well, we're taught to go with our very first impression. When people take their shoes and socks off and sit down, my first impression often, because I'm looking at the top of the foot and the color of the skin. And oftentimes the skin is just pale, drawn, doesn't have any color in it, and it looks exhausted. And that's exactly what it's telling me. So now 90% of the feed I read are from exhausted people. But it's in terms of other areas, like stress will show up in adrenal glands. They puff out. And I see them as soon as people lift the bottom, because the top of the foot is about what you present to the world. And the bottom of the foot is more like the dorsal aspect, or the plantar aspect is more about your physical well-being. There's a lot of there's always emotional stuff in it, but I look at, because the map of the foot is the same in foot reading because it's reflexology, but I'm using visual clues rather than using my fingers to feel hard raised areas. So I can see white kidneys, though they're exhausted. I can see raised adrenals, they're drained. So yeah, so first clues top of the foot, and then I go back, because when I'm foot reading, it's not all about the body and health. It's also about physical or mental, emotional issues, that kind of thing.
And I know you have your own story with that area and coming out of relationship. But first of all, you're a visual artist.
Yes.
And how comes reflexology and visual art together? How like, I know you work with stone, which is amazing. And I love unfortunately I don't have it here, my Burnout book that I got from you, which is a burned out light bulb. but how does somebody who does visual arts, what came first?
Visual art, definitely. I was a metalsmith and I got sick with copper poisoning. And so my whole body was kind of rebelling against me. Everything was sore, tight, tired, not being able to move, stand up. My feet hurt, everything hurt. And I was swollen.
Mm.
My inflammation markers were through the roof, and two doctors told me to wear pressure socks, and that was it. My regular doctor got me some testing because they were going lupus, MS, down that route. And after my first x-ray, the doctor said, oh, you just have bone spurs. That was it. So I went to a naturopath and, I was barely in the office and it was stick out your tongue. She looked at my eyes. I gave her a urine sample, and within 5 minutes, she knew the liver was damaged, kidney issues. So then I did natural chelation over 3 years. And while I was doing this, I had to shut down my practice because I didn't want to be touching copper anymore. I was sore from hammering and building. I was building like 15-foot fountains and sinks and stuff like that. So I did lots of jewelry and things. But so while I was sort of doing my cleaning out, I started working on an organic farm. And the young lady that was working there, she was the daughter of the farmer I was working for, and she started reflexology and she needed a case study. And it was making me feel great.
Mhm.
And I thought, okay, maybe I could do this for a living because I really needed to work with my hands. Because when I was studying graphic design, that was my first career. And then computers came out and I couldn't stand it. I wasn't touching things, I wasn't building anything. So I switched into jewelry design, and then now I'm still working with my hands. I call myself a healing artist.
Yeah, and having seen not the metal work, but again, having seen the other work that you do and having seen the
Mm.
graphics that you do for your work, which is also something what a lot of people don't do when they do the healing work, doing their
Yeah,
own graphics is amazing because I like that's one of the points where I get overwhelmed and I'm not bad in using the tools that I can find, be that Canva or whatever
yeah.
app you use. Um, but it takes so much time to get it to the point where I want it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I've been working on foot reading cards for almost 2.5 years now. I have all the information down. I have it written exactly the way I need it. And I've been trying to draw the because I'm not really I don't like to draw. It's not a thing I do. So I have to, and I have the feet of somebody who needs to be emotionally involved in my projects in order to get something done. If my heart's not in it, it'll sit there and wait. So my heart isn't in drawing, and I'm trying to force myself to do it, but I know it'll come, but I want to get this, I want to get this done. And sometimes I'll just send it out to somebody. It's
Hmm.
like, hey, I know I'm not never going to do this. Here, you draw it for me and
Hmm.
we'll trade. I'll give them a treatment. So yeah,
Hmm.
maybe it's
Yeah.
time to do that.
Maybe take the overwhelm out of the cards.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because I tend to take on so much. I love doing lots of things. I can build, I can work with torches, hammers, whatever, chainsaws, and I like doing it all, but I have to remember that, why do I need to do it all? And I don't need to do it all, but I want to. And so then you end up with mounds of unfinished projects, and that's where my overwhelm comes because I just sit in my tiny little cabin and look at all the stuff I got to do.
Hmm.
So I need a workmate. I've just found out because I have ADHD, and so I'm just learning what a lot of the way I do things, that's where it comes from. So I'm trying. It's not that I want to say, oh, I can't do that because I have that, and that's not what I mean, but it's just that I've just read that people with ADHD get a lot more done when they have somebody else with them, and I live alone. So
Well,
this is,
but that's a part where us single women and men, not
mm,
just women, but
yeah,
anybody who is a single, who is self-employed, who does their own work, we are always stuck with everything.
yeah,
And we don't have a sounding board. We don't have a reminder. We don't have anybody who says, okay, let's tackle that right now. We have to
exactly.
do it all ourselves. So
Yeah,
I hear you. And I
yeah,
invite friends over and say, help me do that because I know that I don't get to anything. I also realized lately that I've been falling back into patterns where I just cannot cope and then cannot touch because we were writing
yeah.
invoices yesterday and my coworker said, well, you could have tackled that a long time ago. And I'm like, I was mentally not able to comprehend what I was looking
Yep,
at. I
exactly.
created a mess, all mine. I own that. Then I have somebody in there that I have to guide through my mess, which is really hard if you don't understand your own mess.
Yeah, yes, that's
So,
difficult because people don't understand how, you operate, and everybody's got their own little gig going on. So, yeah, for so many years, people would say, "Oh my God, I didn't realize how disorganized you were." And it's like, but my chaos is quite organized. I know where everything is unless I've laid a piece of paper on top of my car keys, and then I end up looking for 2 hours.
usually the stuff that you put down 5 minutes before, that's the stuff
Yeah.
that you look for.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I love that you say you manage your chaos or whatever. They put a sticker on my door when I was like 13, 14, 15, 16, something like that. My stepfather, my mom, and they put that on my bedroom door and it said, "The genius conquers the chaos." It took me 3 days to find it because the door was always open.
Yeah.
So that's the point.
It's not that I'm messy, because I will go through things on a regular basis and throw stuff out. I
Mm,
have, I definitely have some gems that I will never throw away. I can be a little bit of a pack rat, but I go through stuff on a regular basis and throw it out. So, and I do live in a really small space. So, I can't buy much. I can't, I don't have storage. I don't have living space.
yeah.
So it's really taught me to, stay away from yard sales unless I need a shovel and a rake and I just, I can't do that. And same with
I
secondhand clothing stores, right? And when I need a new work shirt, that's
yeah.
when I go to the Frenchies, and I'm really good now at just buying what I need. So yeah, so I've had to really put the controls on how I spend and bring things home, and again, because that's more, oh, this and that, and it's stuff. And I
Mhm.
don't want stuff. Stuff drives me nuts.
I've gotten better, especially with clothes, because I tend not to find what I would like, and then I go for a compromise, which I then don't wear or didn't wear.
Yeah.
So I'm getting better with that. But I
Yeah, when
can, you can see if the house is messy, it's usually because I'm not coping.
right.
That's the time when
Yeah.
I'm avoiding, when I'm on the
Yeah.
couch, YouTubing or whatever. And I learned the last like since December because we had so many shifts, night shifts at work, driving the taxi.
Mm,
Um, I realized that my challenge is then I wake up early in the morning. Oh, early, 8, 9 o'clock. But when you get to bed by 3 and then you
yeah.
cannot sleep and you wake up by 8 or 9 and then you cannot sleep more, you
Yeah.
become so scrambled. That's not funny anymore. So
Yeah.
my body says, I'm tired, sleep. And my brain, being overwhelmed, goes like, oh no, look at another video. Oh no. It's kind of hard habit to break. So these days, what
Mm,
I try to is when I'm getting tired or just overworked, I put an audiobook on and force myself to
Oh,
close my eyes, because then I still
right,
have the audio input, so I'm not in quiet, but I can really nicely fall asleep to an audiobook, and I usually put it on a timer. But with an audiobook, I don't have to watch, because
right. Yeah,
if
and
I
you're
keep
not just
watching,
getting
then I keep watching forever. That's the worst
sure. Yeah,
part.
yeah. It's a little less stimulating because when your eyes are moving and going here and there,
Yeah, yeah.
it keeps you awake. And
Don't
plus
don't
something
ask
about
how
the
often I ended up with the phone in my face. Being
I almost
startled
had a
because
picture of that.
so just a quick outreach to everybody listening or watching, if you watch. Um, if you like what we're talking about, we appreciate if you would share it out to others that might benefit from what we're talking about. If you would like and follow, because we do that for a reason, so that people can have the input and the stories. I don't know. Oh,
Yeah.
that's the timer. Sorry. I don't know where that came from. That's me. Sorry about that.
No problem.
I was just turned around by the dog that came up in the background, and then the timer goes off.
Oh, I didn't see him.
No, he just popped up here in the corner for a second. He switched places. Um, so what do you tell people when you find that? What is your go-to? And I know I read in your in the questionnaire you said two eyes, two ears, one mouth. As
Yep.
what is that?
Well, it's the saying is what is it? Two ears, one mouth used proportionally.
Yeah, you have two
So
eyes, two ears, something like that. Yeah.
yeah. So it's about listening. You have two ears, so you listen twice as much as the one mouth can speak.
Okay. So
So,
the pointer to yourself would be then shut up and listen more.
it's to use proportionally because a lot of people just, I see you talking, you're not saying anything. There's that. And then there's people going on at you and you're like, oh, I wonder what laundry I have to do later. So, yeah, so it's because you can hear, but you're not listening. So it's that kind of thing because, it's like people tell you stuff and you hear it,
Mm,
but you don't really,
hear
you're
it.
not listening.
Yeah. You don't take it in.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, so I've
But
always liked that saying.
that's basically being present.
Yes.
Being present
Yeah,
in your thoughts, being present in what you communicate, not just doing small talk and
yeah,
just blabbering away for the blabbering. But
exactly.
also
Yeah.
being here and being tied into the communication.
Yeah, and being present for the person that's needing your attention.
Mhm.
So
I
I
love
think
that
that
when I see you work, you're so focused on the person that you're working with. There's nothing else around you. I can stand behind you and go like, ooh, come on, wake up.
I get into a zone
Yeah.
and I really like doing foot reading, but a lot of time there's so much distraction at the shows. They're noisy and people are walking by all the time. So I'm really trying to give my clients everything I have for that 30 minutes.
Mhm.
Because that's what they're paying for it and they're paying a premium. So I'm trying to do my best that way, showing up in my pink and blue outfits and I made a giant foot chair. It's an Adirondack chair that's pink with blue toenails and it's really comfortable. So again, I want attention from other people coming in. I want people to see me. And then again, I want them to leave us alone. We're in a session here.
Which
So,
is overwhelming in itself, because you're here to
mm,
promote yourself, but on the other hand, you're focusing on the other person.
yeah, yeah.
That's fine.
But
And
I
I
love it.
for me, it's not as bad for the most part, because with the sound, most people in the sound or with the sound are completely in their own bubble.
Yeah.
They don't really get what's going on around them. unless you have very loud neighbors that talk too much and very loud.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm,
but
I've been guilty
also
of that.
also for me, the setting is like my mindset is I'm at the market to promote, to
Yeah.
showcase. So I cannot do 100% justice to the person in the chair. I know I still do good work because most
Yeah.
of them get up and are totally relaxed. And the comments are there that everybody benefited from it. But on the other hand, it's like it's a twofold, right? Either you
Yeah.
do the work that you love or you do the work that brings you out to the people that you love. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's a hard
Well,
decision.
because I did craft shows for 20 years before mystic and holistic shows, and same poop, different day. So yeah, so it's I love the camaraderie between vendors. I love being able to trade for services and products. And it's touch for me, it's touch advertising. I live without internet.
Mhm.
So I don't like all these email programs. I can't stand getting that stuff from people. Like, I mean, I signed up for something once. Somebody said, "Oh, this is a great person, a wonderful free workshop. Sign up. I highly recommend it." I got 10 emails in 3 days, and it was just blah, 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 blah. I didn't like it at all. And I thought, I want to do this thing, but this is really turning me off. And then I decided I didn't want to do it because the emails were just so annoying. I thought, I'm not showing up at this workshop. And then Monday morning I get more emails. "Oh, I'm so glad you came and I hope it was beneficial." So,
Yeah.
so I don't do a lot of Facebook advertising. I don't email. And so what I really like to do is get out and touch people and be seen. And I get a lot of clients that way. Now, what I'm doing, the foot reading isn't really reflexology because it's mostly by sight. So I'm saving my hands. I'm not working my body really hard. So, and that's partly why I enjoy doing it, because it's easy to do, and I just need a good night's sleep the night before. Because when I was an artist, it was, 18-hour days for 3 weeks, and I was cut and bleeding. I showed up. So now this is, it's soft. And I'm so happy to see all the other practitioners and then, maybe get a treatment or something. And, if I get some clients and make some money, that's great.
It's interesting that you brought that point up with email marketing because that's one of my big peeves right now too. Um,
Mm,
I find there is a lot of value. There's a lot of great courses out there that give you an inkling, but you don't want the
mm,
emails afterwards. The
yeah.
hardest part for me is sometimes to unsubscribe from the emails. I
Mm,
don't know why. Does it feel like I'm missing out or whatever? And that again would be a a part of being overwhelmed what's there, right? The brain
yeah.
going into that protective mode that you have to keep on and you can gotta hold on to everything. Um, but yeah, you don't want to see my emails.
No,
That's the point. You don't want to see how
no.
much. And again, it's I don't know if there's any kind of marketing other than in person, how we do it at the markets that is
Mm,
as gentle and as soft as it can be. Even so,
yeah,
because you're not overwhelming somebody, you're offering something they can create the communications. On the other hand, I see the need for social media. See the need for emails because my work is not just based here in person. If I would do just
mm,
in-person work here, I would not able to sustain myself. So I would
yeah,
have to I have to go out and do the mental health work or the wellness work for the mental emotional field. And
yeah,
but yes, absolutely see the point where email marketing becomes overwhelming. So I have a team that helps me because otherwise I'm not getting into
yeah,
that. I have somebody who helps me with social media, and this is mostly with the podcast. So shout out to Alex for helping me there. He's amazing. And the other one is Ratri, who helps me with the emails. And that means there's 4 emails that go out each month. And that's
Yeah,
all I
yeah.
do. I
So
don't send unless there's something special that I would like to promote for somebody because I think it's a worthwhile cause or it's something that people can benefit from. But usually it's 4 emails and that's it because I
yeah,
think it's overwhelming. It's also overwhelming for me if I have to start creating those emails and try to push on people and push on people. I'm not a pushy salesperson, even though I'm trained in
yeah.
marketing. But I honestly hate pushy salesperson. Have
Oh yeah,
a
same here.
have a human connection with me. Have a talk with me.
Mm,
Create
yeah,
that emotional connection that I feel I can trust you. Don't sell to me.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
But again, that's the way the market runs or the world runs that we have to sell. In order to sell, we have to be pushy. Otherwise, you're considered not a good salesperson. As
Yeah,
my boss, one of my bosses once said, "You're not important for sales." And I'm thinking, okay, all the background work that I do makes it possible for the others to focus on selling
yeah,
and creating that cared for environment that people really feel cared for, so they trust,
yeah,
so they buy. But
yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
important for selling. So and I think that's some of the things that are not really valuated in our world is the honesty, is the connection, is the support, and
Mm,
I'd rather have somebody have a good conversation with me at the market and then come back 2 years later and
yeah,
buy something, buy
yeah,
one of the singing bowls or
yeah.
book whatever. But I know they are committed.
Well, even just explaining to people that reflexology is not like a one-time deal. It's something that really needs to be incorporated, whether it's once a month for chronic issues that you've had for a very long time, or you know, uh, even just every 6 months, whatever needs to be done. But I have this complex about because I'm explain well how a lot of clients will say, well, how often should I come? And then it's like, okay, well, how long has it been bothering you? And there's a whole bunch of criteria that helps to decide how often you should be coming for a treatment. I still feel like I'm saying, you want fries to go with that? I'm upselling because I'm telling them they need to come back and, however, and most people can't afford it. It's
Mhm.
expensive.
That's a big thing.
And a huge barrier to my business is the fact that and this is what stresses me out the most about my work, is that the insurance industry doesn't accept reflexology for much. And people who do have it covered, they're spending $1,000 a month on premiums,
Mhm.
so they get the top of the line stuff. And it drives me nuts that you can go get a massage at any place, spend any amount of money, get a massage, and it's covered, whether it's 80% or what. But
Mhm.
um and nothing, I'm not trying to insult any massage therapists or anything. um I can fix liver issues. I can help, not, I can't fix, but I can help. Um, you know, uh, Digestive issues. There's so much that goes on with reflexology.
Mhm.
And I feel that, I know I can keep people out of hospitals. Just knee and hip surgery. I could lymph work. There's so much that I can do
And all
to
of
keep
those
people.
contribute also to like any health issues always contribute also to your overall mental health because you're
Mm,
stressed out. So you're stressed about your mental health and then you're stressing about financials, which
yeah,
is in
yeah,
itself a vicious cycle. That's why when people ask me how often they should come for a session with the sound or in person or whatever, and I usually tell
yeah.
people whenever you feel ready because or we figure
Mm,
something out because I work on de-stressing you. I work on removing the tension out of you. So how can I
yeah.
put tension in you just by you having to fret about financials. And I'm in the same boat. So
Yeah.
I have to make sure that I can get my things that I need. Like right now with a busted knee or both knees busted, that I can afford my osteopath or the person that I go
Yeah.
see and work with, instead of having to turn every penny around twice and then go decide
Mm.
between food and health.
That's like, I can feel my chest caving in right now. Because I take on I've got a lot of other jobs. I can't rely on reflexology, and a
Yeah.
lot of us, I don't have a partner who works, so if I can't, make the rent, there's nobody else there helping me.
And that's
So
exactly the problem,
yeah.
solopreneurs that are singles, that we
Mm,
work ourselves into the ground and then have to deal with the private life too.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. So that's why I smoke cannabis.
me too,
And
once in a while.
it helps. It really helps.
Yeah. Well, I don't do it regularly, but I use the CBD on my joints as sprays and whatever. And
Mm,
and I found like a lot with the clenching, for instance, I can deal with magnesium and the CBD sprays from Kelly, from our friend Kelly. Um, because they just give my muscles the ability to let go. I wish I
mm.
would have somebody like me who goes and works on me, which I don't have. So I got to train people now.
Yeah, I know. It's the, I used to, because I do a lot of outdoor markets and things. And one day I'm in a park and it was very quiet. It was a beautiful day. It was very quiet. I sat in my chair, put my feet up on the stool, and this lovely, lovely woman came in and she said, "Would you like a foot rub?" It's like, yes. I've been waiting for years for someone to say that. And she was another reflexology therapist. And she was so good. It was wonderful. It was really funny because people were walking by and watching, and it's like, I'm actually the business person. So it was very sweet of her, and didn't charge me. Just we became friends. I don't see her very often because I don't do the market anymore, but her specialty was babies. So, but she did a wonderful treatment on me, and it was just marvelous. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, Another shout out to the audience.
Yeah.
So again, if you like what you hear, if you can relate, or if you have people who could relate, please share it. Please like, please follow. We appreciate that muchly. Um, One more thing regarding that not being treated, or not like coming last. Let's say it this way.
Right. Yeah.
Um, it's in all the things that we do mostly, that we put ourselves last, and we don't
Yeah.
pay attention to what we need. And that's one of my pet peeves, trying to teach people to listen to their bodies, to go like, no, I'm
Yeah.
exhausted. And I found when I started listening, that's when I started at the markets to say, okay, I'm taking my breaks. I put breaks
Yeah.
in almost scheduled in a certain time, and then I go and see another facilitator or practitioner that can do something for me.
Yeah.
And again, like you, I love the market because it's become so much a part of the family. You come, you hear about the kids, you hear about the grandchildren, you
Yeah.
hear about the partners and so on, and you hear about friends that we have in common. So it's like a huge family gathering while you're working,
Yeah.
which is one of the best ways to de-stress.
Well, and honestly, I don't feel like I'm working. Like when I
Yeah.
go to shows, I'm having fun. I get worried about people because I see a lot of problems in their feet, and then of course, they explain because these people are letting us into their lives.
Mhm.
And sometimes I'm shocked by what people will tell me, just at a show where they're sitting in a chair and people are walking around. And then other times, people just won't say anything, and you wonder, oh, gee, was it any good? Did they like it? What's going on? They get up, they pay, they're gone. So yeah, so I find that I want to have fun in everything I do. I work on an organic farm. Right now, I'm doing some role playing for training people, and it's fun. I don't know what I'm doing from one week to the next. I don't have a schedule. Sometimes sometimes that can be, exhausting, but I do try to map things out for myself, make notes, make lists, lots of lists. And two different calendars. I have a calendar where I write and it's on the wall so I can see, and then everything else is in my phone because I don't trust my phone. So I have a lot of paper stuff. So
How
so
big?
yeah, so I want to have fun with whatever
Mm.
however I make my money. I want to have fun doing it.
How big is
So
trust an issue?
how big is what?
Trust, trusting something. How big is that an issue?
Well, I don't really have trust. Like I don't have trust issues with certain people. I do because I know they can't keep a secret, or I can't trust them with, but I'll just tell you whatever you want to know. And so personally, I don't really have trust issues, but I know a lot of people do. So even just trusting me to not hurt their feet, because so
Mhm.
many people are ticklish, and I am so happy when someone says, I really don't like someone touching my feet. But they're willing to give it a try. And I
Mhm.
love that because, 98% well, maybe 99.9% of the time, they say, oh, thanks, that didn't tickle at all.
I
So, yeah,
I
so
I love that the fact that we both go to Stanfest,
yeah, can't wait.
which is so amazing. It's a big, is it the biggest folk festival in Canada? No,
No, not in Canada, no.
no, but
But it
for the
is,
Maritimes.
yeah, yeah. Like the Winnipeg Folk Festival is almost 50,000 people go
Mm.
there. This one, we might be up to like 5 or 6,000 because COVID, made
Chuck a
everybody
little bit.
scatter,
Yeah.
but now it's building, it's really building up again. So the crowds are getting bigger.
So it's the Stan Rogers Music Festival, and it's on the end of the world, at the
Yeah.
edge of the world.
Yeah, it's at the edge of the world. So it's
Um,
weather of all kinds, music of all, like what could be better than music and massaging people? You get to sit in a really comfortable chair and, whether I'm doing India head massage or rubbing their hands or their feet, they can just lie back. Like I'm trying to get people to book us during their favorite musician. So a couple of years ago, Natasha and I did a foot bath with Jim Cuddy. He wasn't there doing the bath, but he was on stage. So there you
yeah, and
go.
that's the cool part. So we are fairly across the stage, and we can see the stage while we're working. But people would never think about that. Like when you approach me first, I'm always up for not challenges, but for new things and new opportunities. And even to this day, when we tell people that we do that, most of them go like, "You do what? No, you
Well,
don't." They
they've been
cannot.
trying to they've been trying to get a little spa going, and I'm telling you, I try to upsell this thing, but nobody wants to camp in the middle of nowhere for 4 days and work at the same time. It's like, come on, it's fun. Pick your hours, go see some shows. It's a lot of work. Yeah, I'm exhausted. Like I sleep for a week after Stanfest.
Oh no, me
Uh,
not.
yeah, so I'm physically exhausted, but it's a happy exhaustion. I get lots, I sleep, my body like I just sleep. You know, I
It's
nap
a
twice in the middle of the day.
it's a lot of energy around you
Mm,
because you have all those different people come in and you have all those conversations. And a lot of them, as we are promoting ourselves again and we
yeah,
explain the same things over and over, is routine, yes. But the interaction with those people are so
yeah,
great. Like it's just so amazing to be able to be at a festival and then at the same time offer our stuff. And if you'd
yeah.
ever asked me years ago, I would have said never ever possible because
Well, because
I would
I
not have been
remember,
able to deal with it. Like and part of that is that I didn't trust that me working with sound in a loud environment
mm,
would be feasible. But I had to learn, and that happened in our conversations last April, to realize that I work with vibration, I work with frequency and energy.
Mm.
Even so it's manifesting in sound, people don't need to hear it because their body takes it in.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
again, shifting the perspective, shifting the awareness to how does it work? And my own awareness about what I do is that's one of the biggest parts in the journey of getting out of that overwhelm and stress and
Mm. Yeah.
burnout. And again, I fall back into burnout. I realize that. And usually I just realize it when I'm afterwards coming out and I'm like, um, but I get better in realizing where it comes from, and I get better in being able and being aware enough of all the pointers that are coming up beforehand to pull myself either out completely early enough or saying, okay, I can go for that and that long, for that and that reason. The reason is
Mm.
worthwhile for me to go into it. Yeah, and alone learning that is so amazing when you can get to the point where you can actually listen to the cues that your body and all your whole
Yeah.
being gives you, and not being stuck into where am I, who am I, what am I, right?
Yeah. And for me, it's not the physical work I find. Well, the physical work, because I sit on a low stool and I sit on the floor as well. So I'm having to get up off the floor elegantly as I can. But I find sometimes that the trauma stories and the not trauma necessarily, but just the medical stories that people have,
Mhm,
that can be super draining.
mhm,
And yeah, we protect ourselves, but still, I find that, yeah, I'm thinking about these people because sometimes I get visions.
mhm,
Because foot reading isn't psychic, but I get psychic visions, and sometimes they, like I am like, they catch me unaware. I burst into tears. I belch. I cry. So the reactions my body handles, but I express it, especially through belching. But yeah, and I love to burp. I love to burp, but I'm very casual and quiet about it. But sometimes it's the energy from the person I'm working on, and I'm released. Their energy is coming through me, and I'm letting it go.
but
So
basically,
I feel relief when I belch, but then at the end of the session, when they leave and the story is still with me, or the image that I saw on their feet, because sometimes I don't get email addresses, and I get a thing after, it's like something stumping me, and I'm seeing an image and I can't interpret it, and I want to, and then after they're gone, all of a sudden it's like, oh, it was a top hat, and so yeah, so sometimes I just get exhausted emotionally. And that's the one that just makes me want to go away. Don't talk to me. I want to be in a black box with no
mhm,
sound.
but
Some good
basically,
food.
basically that means you are aware of others' energetic information. Your
Mm,
body translates it in a certain way. Your mind translates it in a certain way.
yeah.
And as you open yourself up, it's like me opening myself up to work with mental challenges. I get people with suicidal tendencies. I get people that
Mm,
are PTSD, that are whatever, usually fairly regularly. Like you start talking about something, and then the next thing is, I have PTSD, I have anxiety, I have.
yeah.
We open ourselves up for that. So the
Yeah.
question that I would have on you or to you would be, how can you create circumstances for you to be able to deal with it in a way that's not exhausting to you?
Yeah, well, I need to do more exercise, because when I'm physically feeling good, because again, I got to get up and down off that stool.
And
So
I'm
I need to,
standing most of the time.
yeah, yeah. So I need to be better prepared physically, because that helps everything else.
Mhm,
And again, I try to approach things, I use a lot of humor. I use a lot of imagery and metaphor. and I try to make the whole event fun. Even though I'm getting a signal that, this person has been through hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
No,
I try,
I
yeah,
get, I
trying to
get,
lighten the mood without being a jerk,
I get
right?
that you do that for the other person, but what can be done
Yeah.
for you to not hold on to all of that, to be easier to like digest it easier, to
Yeah. Shake it off, shake it off. Um, yeah, honestly, well, again, my sense of humor helps. I want to I have to prepare myself. Like I get my safe space. It's an image that I go to if I'm not feeling, because it hasn't. I haven't come across it very often, but every once in a while I'll start working on somebody and
Mhm.
it doesn't feel good, and
I
that
know.
it rarely happens.
Hmm.
So when that does happen, then I kind of, and that's partly why I use cream on my, because a lot of reflexology therapists don't.
Hmm.
And it gives me a little bit of separation because I'm touching, feet are quite intimate. So I realize that, what I'm doing is an intimate act and I'm getting personal information and all that. So uh, I try to, where am I going with this? I try to just sort of create an environment for both of us to be comfortable. And then when they go away, it's like, okay, they're going to be fine. Everything's cool. I'm going to be fine. Who's next? So, and then when the show's over, some good food, some good conversation, and then quiet time, and I'm ready to go.
I love I love the habit that we have at the festival doing the foot bath at night when we're done,
Yeah.
sitting there listening to the music, do the foot bath and the foot rub
Yeah.
or scrub, because that takes so much of the energy out of the system and it brings you so much down to earth and out of your head. And coming
Yeah.
back to my training in Ayurveda, it was always that when we would do a head massage, we would have to have a foot bath for the client at the same time. So you start with a foot bath and then you do the head. So
Mm,
you don't do just one end of the body and keep them in limbo
yeah.
instead of, or if you just did the feet, you would go up and you would at least give like the gentle pat over the head. So they, or the little,
Mm,
just some small things that they had the full body, not just one
yeah.
part, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And that
Yeah.
was
And
like, again, coming back to that training. And it's funny because I don't think often about my Ayurveda training, but there's some bits and pieces that were so detrimental for everything that I do. And part of that is
mm,
having the person as a whole when they leave here, not just parts and not just everywhere and not just frazzled and scattered and
sure.
whatever,
Yeah. Yeah.
but making sure that they're all together and back to themselves. Because that's
Yeah.
one of the things that is, yeah, it's the worst part. If you leave somebody just in limbo, you're not doing your work.
No, no. And that's why I work, because a lot of reflexology therapists, they only work on the feet. They greet the feet, do an opening move to make a connection with the client, and then they talk about, you never lose your physical connection with like if you're trying to reach for an oil or something, you always have one hand on. I can't manage that because I move around a lot, but my treatments start at the head and the neck. So I do a little bit of scalp massage. I work on vagal work behind here, releasing tension in the neck, reading energy from the top of the chest. I might give them a facial massage, and then I loosen the hips and the knees and the ankles, and then I start working on the feet. And then I go back and finish on the head when I'm done.
Mm.
So I feel like I've done the whole thing. And that comes from doing, knowing how to do India head massage and facial massage and all these other things that I do. So it makes a very complete session for my clients.
Hmm. And there's you are just keeping me so focused on you that the timer goes off again to do another
Yay.
shout out about liking, following, and sharing the posts and the videos. And yeah, again, if you have anybody who would be interested, who can find a little bit of help in there, we share our stories so that others don't have to live them. That's what we do. Or who, so the ones that live them can find their way out of them. Right. That's
Yes.
my goal with the podcast, is to give others other perspectives than what they're caught in. We've been going on
Right on.
for 45 minutes already. Your phone is still working.
Oh, it's
That
so
was one of the
fast.
stressors when we started. The computer didn't want to work. The phone is only at 66%. But I think we've done pretty well with our overwhelm. Eric's standing here like, I want
Well,
something. I don't know what he
and
wants.
now the cat's asking for my attention. She must
See?
see, they see animals pick up on this stuff, right? They
Yeah,
know
they
we're
say
done.
it's done. It's time. Let's
Yeah.
go. Do you have any last advice for the listeners, for the audience? Any bit or piece
Hmm.
that you would like to share somebody or would give to somebody that is in overwhelming stress?
Okay. Yeah. Put me on the spot. Why don't you? Um, gosh,
Physical,
I
mental, it can be anything. Any tip or trick that you would give your client when they are
just sometimes when you think of something, do it. Um, like I feel like going for a walk and then go do so I do it just the minute you think of it. Just do something for yourself this very second you think of it. Don't, oh, I'll do that later, because you won't. So, or some people will, but yeah, I think it's about grabbing that moment and going with it, because I find that I'm so happy that I did it, and that makes, that takes the pressure off. I finally I said I was going to do something and I did it. So there's that kind of relief, the relief of actually doing something physical, if that's what it was. It's like, because again, when I feel like I need to paint, I should just go paint and I'll get something done.
Yep.
So it's about seizing that spark and helping the flame to ignite, but just make sure it doesn't burn out of control.
You mean don't run 15 times to the fridge just not to do the work?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is my post from today. I posted on social media. I said, what does the extrovert do when it's too quiet at home? Or the fridge is too busy? No, the fridge is calling too much, or the dogs or the pets are too noisy. Working at Tim Hortons. So I took
Oh,
my office to Tim Hortons.
I can't do that. I
See,
can't work in public spaces at all.
yeah, but you're not as much as an extrovert than I am, because I put my earphones in. I don't want people don't approach me because I don't want to talk, and they
Right.
see
Yeah.
clearly I'm working, but I need that movement around me to be more productive. I need
Uh,
the energy, the air moving, whatever you want to call it. It's just here it's so static sometimes, and then again
yeah.
there's the distractions that I pick because I don't want to work. Especially when I have to deal with something that I don't like.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And there's lots of tricks that people do. There's so much information on the internet. It's like, if you do this, you need this, and it's like, shut up.
Mhm.
I'll do, because I'll glean little bits of things that work for other people, and it's like, well, that works for me, but that doesn't, and I'm going to try that because it worked for that guy, and
But
so
that's
yeah,
the
I'm always
part.
trying.
That's the part about awareness. Awareness means, okay, there's something that piques our interest. Look into
Mm,
it. If
yeah,
it works for you,
yeah,
do it. If not, let it go. There's no one for all. There's not one thing that works for everybody.
yeah, yeah,
We are
yeah.
we are too much individuals. We are made of too many different moving parts to
Mm,
be all the same and work all the same or function all the same or react all the same, right?
yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, so listen to your heart, to your gut, what you're drawn to, look at it, and if it's not working, then just let it go.
Yeah, well, actually, my advice is don't listen to the brain and don't listen to the heart. That's what gets you into trouble. It's my gut that tells me right from wrong and good and evil. So
Well,
yeah, there's lots of good and evil up here.
I always say our brain is our biggest fiend because it tries to keep us safe.
There you
And the
go.
problem is it perceives safe what is not letting you move
Mm.
forward. It's keeping you in that box that's not allowing you to grow, because sometimes grow is trauma. Without trauma, there is no growth at all. That's the biggest part. So being uncomfortable sometimes is good, but the brain goes like, yeah,
Yeah.
no, you're not safe. You're not safe. Don't go there.
Yeah, run
Right.
away.
Marie, thank you so much. Here comes the German out. Thank you so much. Let's say that right.
Dankeschön.
I'm so happy that we finally made that happen, which is
Yes,
not
yeah,
as
we've been
easy
trying to
when
do this
somebody
for
lives
2
off grid.
months.
And I'm so looking forward to see you next week. No, not next week.
Yes.
Next month for Standfest.
Yeah, it's gonna be a whole other month.
Yes, not quite.
So yeah.
By the time this airs, it's about like 3 weeks or something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Thank you. I miss you. Love you.
Miss you too. Bye.
Thoughts are racing, spinning fast. Ideas flow, but never last. Waves of wonder, thoughts untamed. Nothing ever stays the same. Rambling on, no straight lines. Welcome to my busy mind. Ideas fade,